Okay, continuing on about the implied warranty of habitability. I did some more research today and I prepared a formal notice template that I'm going to get into a little later. But before I do that, let's recap about the federal implied warranty of habitability. Okay, in my research, I came across 3 bullet points that covers basically what I covered in our last video, but it was written by another attorney and it was placed on Google, and I'm just reading it from Google, the site that I got from on Google, right? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you how it's positioned from the attorney's perspective when they're trying to market this information to the landlord as opposed to market this information to the tenant. It states, the implied warranty of habitability. First bullet point, every residential contract contains an implied warranty that the landlord will provide habitable premises. Habitability means a rental unit is fit to live in. This implied warranty of habitability does not require that the landlord ensure that leased premises are in perfect, aesthetically pleasing condition, but it does mean that the bare living requirements must be maintained. Then he cited the case Green versus Superior Court. Now, if you check my last video, I also cited a case. I think it was like Javins versus First National Corp, which establishes that a tenant's duty to pay rent is dependent on a landlord's duty to provide a habitable unit, which means a unit that is fit to live in, which means that these bare essentials are required, like the ones that I'm seeing every day, where heat isn't being supplied, windows are not adequately insulated, places are infestated with rats and roaches, people don't have power for extended periods of time. And in some cases, it's having nothing to do with the weather. It's because the actual site is not being properly taken care of. But the point that I'm making about the way that this is positioned here is that it's obvious he's marketing to landlords. He's basically siding on the side that you don't have to do much. All you got to do is the bare minimum. It's not like it got to be cute. But the thing about it is they're not even doing the bare minimum. And that's my issue. And that's why we need to get up on our P's and Q's so we can start pushing the issue with the landlord. You know I like this on. Hold on. So in order to enforce your rights under this implied warranty, a notice of defect is required, and it must be provided in writing and in a reasonable time as soon as the defect is discovered. I'm going to read straight from this. A notice of defect is a formal, often written notice informing a party such as a contractor, seller, or landlord that a product, services, or property has a fault, nonconformity, or requires repair. It is critical for presenting warranty rights, demanding repairs, or preventing further damage, typically required to be sent immediately upon discovery of the issues. Okay? So, using this as a guide, I created a document that I'm hoping is like easy on the eyes, that you can easily read and put in the required information that would make a substantial notice of defect that you can address to your landlord at the time that you discover a defect. I'm going to show you how you could download it and pull it up right straight from my website. Okay, so here it is, www.willfamlaw.com. Link in bio. When you go to the site, go to the resource tab. If you go on your phone, you can find it in the left margin. Go to the resource tab here. To create an account, all you need to do is enter an email address and create your own password. Here, I have in my email, tiff.willfamlaw@gmail.com. You can reach me at tiff.willfamlaw@gmail.com. And Once you create an account, you'll be able to access all these resources. Now today, I entered in a blog entry, or that's what it's called on the end where I'm uploading it. Because as I stated, I did all the tabs. I enter all of the information. So even per request, if there are forms that you think would be helpful, or even if you have feedback, this is what I am really looking for feedback on. Everything on the site. If anything I can do better, I'm open ears to receive any constructive criticism about the layout of the site to make it easier for your use, especially the resource tab. Let's just limit that to the resource tab, because this is literally for you. I don't want to get into the details of all the various things that I've uploaded, but as you can see, when you go to the site, I have things uploaded here from September and August of last year, things that I was talking about that I went to work on and just uploaded it to have it there, not ready to present it. But back to today's topic, the notice of defects can be downloaded here in downloads. Okay, as I stated, I have other templates here that I'll do separate videos about, and I don't want to get into today. Today, the blog was uploaded with information about a landlord's duty, the information that I used to create the document, and the link to where it was found there. Okay. When you go, this is a DIY, do-it-yourself notice of defects. What I would think is you can use one of these. You only need the first 2 pages for your records. The first 2 pages to send to your landlord. The last page you keep for yourself for the steps for after you send it, right? And also, may I add, when you do send a written letter of this kind, you should always use some type of certified mail, where you get some type of verification of delivery. Okay, but you can pull this up, and I'm going to print it out from right here. And so this is just an overview of what the notice is. Up here, you put the address to your landlord, your address with your unit number. Right here, you'll want to put the detailed description of the defect. Any supporting documents, you'll want to list them here, and also attach a copy if applicable. You want to make a clear identification of the defect. If it has like a make, a model number, anything where it can be clearly identifiable. If it's just something where you need to say the electricity or whatever, you can put the power company. Just put any additional information that you can put. The material of the window or the door of the thing that is broken. If it's insects, identifying insects, I would, if I ran out of room under the detailed description, I would expound in this area here. And here we go. Required action and deadline. This is vital. Okay? This section is vital. Here is where you're going to want to tell them what you are expecting. The turnaround time is a sort of a demand statement of sorts. All right? You want to state clearly, make a request for the repair. You expect to have your electricity restored, your heat restored, your windows installed by. Find it reasonable to have that completed by. And in my mind, you want to use the ends of the month to gauge, because the purpose of the notice is to let them know that in the event that this date that you're going to be stating is not, the repair isn't done by that date, you will be doing something following that. And you want to state that here. If not completed by such date, I will withhold rent until repaired. I will take the steps to have it repaired myself and deduct it from next month's rent to that extent. Okay? Let me get the document. Okay. So, here's the doc 2 pages. You want to see it upright? You want to be able to see the word straight? Go visit my website, link in bio, and you can look at it right on your phone right now. You want to see the word straight? Okay. This is the first section. The second section starts down here. It only has, I believe, 4 sections total. Yeah. So it has 4 sections total. Okay? It's not intense. It's just spread out along the 2 pages to assure that you hit all the required key points that are necessary for a formal notice. And again, you want to serve this as soon as you discover it, within a reasonable time. You understand? Within a few, like, as soon as possible. I would say within 1 to 2 days. Get it out, a written notice of defect. No matter what course you choose to take, you want to notify them that this needs to be taken care of. And putting it in writing gets their attention and keeps it, especially when you have to write them again. Okay? Attaching a copy of the last letter with a copy of the confirmation of your delivery. Do you hear me? Do you understand? You have to start writing these things down. Now, what I also want to share with you is, okay, you're right, you get a defect. Let's say you have this incident. You're keeping a copy of it. You staple it, right? You get you a folder. Or some type of thing like this. Yeah, something like this. That has multiple files inside. Something from, I don't want to shout out no stores. Okay, you guys, an office supply section of any store might have that. The best prices maybe in bigger places. I'm not advertising for no, you know. Anyhow, the point that I'm making is that when these things occur, you want to document them as fast as possible. You want to keep a copy for your records at all times. You want to send these things in the mail with some type of certified mailing to assure delivery and to have a record of delivery. You want to have a identified area, place where you keep them, where you know where it is. Not where you're like, where did I put it? Where did I put it? No, you want to create that space where you keep your important documents. Okay, and you need to start forming the mind to keep important documents, to maintain important documents, to create important documents. Okay, it's these documents that's going to enforce your actions and theirs as well. I missed one point on the end. You'll want to create one of these, and you can use one of these every time an incident occurs. Okay, and it can be used generally, not just for a landlord. So that's why I put that blurb on there to explain the other, well, generally other uses. But for my purposes and for this video, this is for landlord-tenant issues where the unit is not habitable. Okay, basic essentials, required essentials are not being supplied. And so every time something like that arises, every defect, you need to create one of these for every defect, right? And put the date of the discovery date right there at the top. Okay? Now, in the event that things are prolonged with one specific incident, you keep those documents all together with the first discovery record. Okay? And you just keep those things together. That's why I like manila folders and stuff. I already started organizing these videos into manila folders for each topic. I like that shit.